What's up, guys and gals, and welcome to the next episode of Battleworlds Kronos. In the previous episode, we had finished off this big ol' left island, the Island O'Diggles. That's right, we still have a few things left to do over here, so I'll leave that for the next part. We need to do a level up on our Condor. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, we have the option here, I talked about this in the previous episode, but I'll go over it one more time in case you didn't know what the Condor could do. It can get Blitz, or it can get Improved Range of Fire. I'm going to go with the Improved Range of Fire, because while the unit fires first in counterattacks is kind of nice, one thing that I've read is that the enemy still gets to do, like, let's say if you counterattack first and you kill them, they still get to return fire. Although I think it only does 0 damage, but I'd rather not take the chance. So we're going to apply it, and we're going to take Improved Range of Fire because it's badass. And then we're going to bypass our turn. In between episodes, I've done a little bit of the clerical work, a little bit of logistics, moving things around so that we can go into the next island and get into a fight without any major hangups. I didn't want to bore you guys with just moving units around, which was all I was doing. I was loading tanks on transports, moving things from left to right, from right to left, and making sure things are where I wanted them to be. As we stand right now, we're pretty much lined up for our next conflict. We're going to wipe out this little fleet down here, and hopefully, in dominating the seas around this island, we should be able to bombard and get rid of some of these aerial defenses, which then means that our condors can go in and just have a heyday, which is once again a word that I never understood. Like, is it really that exciting to get a bunch of hay on a day? I suppose it just may. Oh god, I'm going into like an Adam Sandler-esque. In fact, I think Adam Sandler has done that himself. That might be what I'm recollecting. Not a big Adam... I used to be an Adam Sandler fan, but not so much anymore. I think he burned me on Grown Ups too. That's what it was. Punch Drunk Love, though. Fantastic film. It appears as though all they're going to do with their turn is move this motorcycle around, so let's blast him. He's now defeated. I need to bring a guy down here and capture all these resources, so that's what this little wounded guy's going to do. He's limping along slowly, kind of gimping his way down here, and eventually he will arrive. Let's see if we can capture this with an aerial unit. Can we? We cannot. So let's get our aerial units patched back up. One of the reasons I want to capture these resources down here is so that I can take our condors and repair them. They've all taken a little bit of battle damage, not a lot, just a smidge. But at the same time, I prefer for them to be at maximum health when we go into the next conflict on this side. Luckily enough, we have a little bit of time before we have to do that. I would guess that we're probably going to get invaded again by random units, seeing as every time we've attacked any base, they've decided to drop the hammer on us from every direction. I suppose that's probably what's going to happen. I'm going to start moving guys around over here. They do have artillery, and I can do something about it. So let's deploy our bomber here. And there he is. And on the next turn, we'll try and have him drop some form of explosive on something. Maybe that guy right there. I don't like their artillery piece. It's pointing in the opposite direction, but don't let it fool you. He's just feigning like Daffy Duck style. He's pretending like he doesn't see us over here, but give him a moment and he will definitely turn around and let us have it. And I will not be having that. I don't want his it. Whatever his it is, I don't want it transferred to me. Its status shall remain with him. Therefore, let's move some of our boats around, and these guys are going to be dropping off on this beach over here. All of our light units are loaded up in these transports, as always. Do I have anything else over here? I have another one that I haven't been moving. God, just kind of missing things right now, not paying attention very well. Anybody else? We've got 2 ships there, or 2 aircraft. We've got a tank loaded up here, so let's move him over. I got to put this Poseidon in here, and once we get this Poseidon docked up, we can take that Cerberus and drop it in there. It is, oh, it's a Praetorian. God, even worse. We need the Praetorian for sure. They're one of my favorite units we've come across so far. In many ways, they remind me of the Mammoth tank from Command and Conquer, but I think I've already said that. Now that we've done a little bit of transporting around, I'm going to move my submarines a bit and make sure that they don't end up in a weird spot. And within the next turn, I think they have a couple piranhas down here that might get us into trouble. I may try and snipe them with these submarines. We'll see. We'll see how it goes down. Anything else ready to go? I'm going to leave my ships reasonably compact at the moment around the center harbor, just in case they decide to come at me so that I can reinforce in any direction. I don't know if I'm going to need to, but just in case it needs to take place, we'll do that. These ships over here were pretty wounded, and I think they needed to move around too. So yeah, let's take them back to base and see if we can't get them repaired. And perhaps we'll swing this ship down with the submarines just to keep somebody above water so that we've got somebody to fire some V2 rockets or something at the enemy. I'm all Command and Conquer, and I'm talking about V2 rockets. God, I'm relapsing. I just played that through the other day, Command and Conquer Red Alert, and I've got to say that I really do like the older games so much more than the newer ones. Ever since EA took over Westwood, I have no faith in the series. I think Tiberium Sun or Tiberian Sun was the best one they ever did. I loved that game. I loved the hell out of that game. In terms of both, like, if you had the videos in between levels, you know, that used to be like Command & Conquer's signature thing, is in between levels they would show you like those cinematics. Here we're gonna drop that bomb. And goodbye, dear sir, you are now dead. I think on the next turn we could conceivably get away with bombing this too, but let's send him, yeah, let's... I think he'll be okay, so we'll put him over here and we'll do one more bombing run, because he doesn't appear to have ammo. He'll bomb and then he'll run back to the aircraft carrier to hide, because that's how we do it here. We need to unload the remainder of these troops, so let's get some of our rocket launching platforms out. And we've got another tank right there. And at this point, we've got a lot of armor on the beach. We've also got counter artillery, which is really going to help us take out some of these emplacements. I hate fighting these things by hand. You guys know that anytime I have to roll up on one of these things, I like start complaining, I get all bitchy. That is definitely the fact of the matter, is that I really do hate fighting those. I'm going to bring this Piranha down this way so that he can help out with this engagement. Got our submarine down here. These two definitely need to go. I don't know if they have anything further inland. I may do kind of a swooping reconnaissance, do a kind of a reconnoiter move with some of my condors, but we'll see. I wonder if I can deploy them in a light factory. It's something worth thinking about. In any sense, I think I'm just going to take them back up here to the airfield and we'll deal with it as we get to it. Other things that need to be handled, these guys, they need to be moved up and repaired. I didn't do this little bit of the repair work just because I figured I'd leave it on here. We can do this while we do other stuff. We're just taking them back to this harbor right here, which happens to be the only harbor remaining that has any supplies. I'm going to bring this supply ship down so that he can move supplies in between here and here. Let's capture that and see if there's anything inside of it that we want. It looks like we've got a mule. And it also looks like we've got another hunter. Okay, so that might help us out for the future. I needed a vehicle down here anyways to come down and grab that crate. So I think that's what I'll do with the hunter. I don't know if you have to activate it or if there's any specific unit that needs to activate this, but I'll pick the unit that I think will suit it the best. We need to grab that too. I would love to get a couple more naval units. Swing him down along the border. And as for the remainder, let's shift them forward by one more now that the artillery's out of the picture and we don't have to worry about it. All of these guys, we're going to have them move down to the beach. There it is. Handled, handled, handled. Okay, so we've got a couple units left back. Whoa, how did this happen? Got a couple of hunters sitting around back here. I should probably transport these around and make use of them. Just something that I'm thinking. We'll see what happens in this next engagement. I don't think I absolutely 100% have to deploy those in order for this to be a successful fight, but we'll see how it goes. You never know. Maybe they've got some kind of crazy ordnance down in here like an ion cannon or something and it's going to get super rowdy. There is no telling. Let's bypass the turn. Let's drop some bombas. And one thing I'm not so clear on is, does this crash when it hits 0 fuel, or does it hit the ground when it goes negative in fuel? Like, when it consumes the 10 to 0, does that count for the next turn? Or when it counts the 10 to 0, if it goes 20 to 10, does that count for the current turn or the next turn is my confusion there. But we'll take their chances. We're going to refuel him right here on the platform. And I don't think I'm going to send him back out because the tank's going to be able to kind of duck and dodge him for a little bit. Actually, we will. We'll send him back out. We'll put him right there so that he can bomb that and then bomb that in the back-to-back turns. We're going to make use of our aircraft. I love aircraft in futuristic games, so this is going to work out. Let's begin the unloading process because they do have some infantry on the beach, so we could end up with like a weird Omaha beach thing over here. I knew a guy. This is one of my friends. His granddad was on Omaha Beach, and that is a crazy story. Not one I think anyone likes to tell. Definitely got a little misty when he told that story, but I think it's important to tell the story just so future generations can get an exact view of what happened in those dark, dark days. But anyways, it was kind of a crazy story. I'm not going to go into it here. Maybe I'll talk about it in a video log or something in the future. But for now, since I was talking about Omaha anyways, I figured I'd mention it in passing. Okay, so all of our heavy units are off the beach. Let's start pulling back every unit that doesn't need to be here. And we can use them for something else, like maybe take one of these guys, bring them up here to grab some of these extra units in case they try and land one more time. We've got so much infantry that I don't think they're going to try it, but, you know, just in case. Fortune God, I almost said Fortune Facials the prepared, which is wow. But, you know, sometimes you gotta lubricate that skin, so whatever. So now that we've got that there, we need to capture this factory, and that's gonna take us a turn or two. We'll allow him to shoot his shot. We'll capture the radar dome, although we don't really need to. I'll probably come down here and try and grab this harbor first. Send him off this way just to see what's peeking. And then we're both gonna duck them underwater, and we're gonna try and come in low and soft and see if we can't get rid of at least a couple of those piranhas on our surprise attack. The piranhas, they have a surprising amount of bite, and I don't mean to be punny like that, but they do seem to do a lot of damage. For such a little gunboat, when they first deployed them in this mission, I was like, whatever, I didn't think they were going to be that good. They turned out to be quite the nasty little combatants, and so never judge a book by its cover. Definitely judge it by its moniker, however. Whatever they've decided to name it seems to be pretty true to the fact. Let's bring our planes up and in here. We're going to land them at this airfield. We've got 70 supply left. That should allow us to, I think, repair all of them. None of them are looking so beat up that I think we'll go through 70 supply. And what I'd really, really, really like to do is use the mule to move the supplies from here all the way back up to there and build us a couple more condors, because I feel like they're going to be really, really useful in the future. Kind of a multi-purpose unit that I don't think we can do without. Let's bypass. I don't know what just moved right there, but it didn't pan me around. Let's move our submarines forward. And this is going to be our nearby pressing engagement. It looks like they've got a little bit more than I was hoping. Let's get a better view and figure it out. I think with this selection of units, we should be alright. These 6 versus these 4 should do a pretty good job at wiping them out. I don't want to put any of my destroyers at risk because I need them to bomb this out right here and make sure that it goes away. And maybe to kind of pester these units along the side, do some naval guerrilla warfare. You don't see guerrillas out on the open sea too often, but they do get around occasionally. They're powerful rowers. I think it's got something to do with the forearms. We'll drop some bombs right there. And let's inch up on this tank. In any case, in the next turn, what we're probably going to have to do is sneak around him, because he seems to be fiddling around every single time. He's not going to let us bomb us, or he's not going to let us bomb him without wasting at least a movement turn. All of our tanks are there. I'm going to wait until he's dead, and then we'll set up a line right here. We'll start combing through this forest and figuring out what enemies need to be dealt with. I don't see anything right now. Sending out these advanced scouts just to have a little look-see. Doesn't look too bad. Let's send this guy back to go pick up some of the hunters. I'm going to put him back up by the harbor in case they try and land again. This guy was supposed to be coming down and grabbing resources because I don't think the mule's going to be able to carry everything. I think he's going to be SOL. Oh, he can carry 200. Never mind, we may not need him. We may not need him. There's no fuel in here, which is a little disappointing. Bringing the fuel back might have been nice, too, in case we needed to get our birds back in the air, but you takes what you gets. Can't complain about dim freebies. So we've got 80 over here. That's going to be nice. And then I'm going to use his movement to move him over here. He'll get this in passing. I think that's the most efficient way to do it. The hunter's going to grab that. Ah, another infantry unit. Even better. That's going to expedite this process just a little bit. And I forgot to get these units repaired up here. You'll have to forgive me. There's so many moving parts at this point that the machine is rapidly running out of my control. Suffering from a little bit of logistical attrition. So number 1 is back up in here, and he's got a perfect amount to get himself repaired to full. So I am going to have to move supplies around somewhere. It may almost be better to bring him down to this one since it's already got supplies in it, and I don't really have time to bring supplies all the way back up and in. It might be a simpler operation to bring him down this way. A little bit of a operational folly there on my part, but we'll take it. All those guys are ready to go. Ah, they are gonna jump into combat. I was wondering if they might, and they're gonna spread the damage around to limit the amount of damage I'm gonna be able to do with my physical weapons. I've got to swoop in here like right now and get this thing going. Oh, he returned fire. That's enjoyable. So let's create a front. And we're going to have to wait and see what they do. If they try and line up right here, I'll come in from behind with the subs. And these piranhas, unfortunately, are very, very fragile. They tend to break quite easily. Then again, maybe I'm just rough with my toys. And down he goes, and we've got a leveled up bomber. What does he get? Improved armor, improved vision. Both of those seem kind of useless. I think I'm going to go with improved vision so that I can get at improved range of fire. And now we can take the field. So let's start moving people around, and we're going to form our first front right now to figure out how we want to advance on the enemy. I still wish that there was simultaneous movement of units. It would make this whole thing go much more rapidly. Recording this game has become a little bit of a pain, simply because just the turn-based movement kind of slows things down. Put him right there. We'll start moving some of the armor down. We do have scouts, so I may try to make use of him in the next turn. Maybe dance out to here and then run back. Or do... Oh my god. Okay. That is unfortunate. That's a pretty good formation right there. That thing is more or less landing proof, so we can't hit them from the land right here. We've got to do something from this side. So I'm thinking we could take our ships and punch a hole right here. Once we've punched a hole, we can put the aircraft carrier right here, jump out. The problem is these right here can shoot you out of the air. So we need to get rid of everything. Maybe bring in condors. That's not leveled, so it can't shoot at anything in the air just yet. But bringing in condors, how far can that shoot? I know I've looked this up already. Pretty far. So bringing in condors to maybe skirmish with these and wipe them out. They are going to take return fire, which is a tad scary, but it's just something we're going to have to deal with. Can't get out of the way of it. Okay, so that now all of our rogue squadron has landed. Let's get them all repairing. And once we get the hitch back in their giddy up, we should be able to send them across the ocean and get some things done. Here, I don't even think I'm going to use this factory. I think I'm just going to use this to move some of the resources around and bring them back and make myself some more aircraft, because land units are not going to do it for us. We could use artillery. That is the thing. We did build ourselves an artillery piece, which could deal with some of this pretty well. And that may be how I decide to skirmish with it. I may deploy the artillery, say, right here, just out of range, and then line up my heavy armor in front of it and see who comes forward to get shot. I don't think too many of them are going to volunteer for it, but we may get a couple easy biters right there. Alright, that's all good. He should be repaired in here. So let's get him back out and on his way. I'm going to send this one back down to this naval yard here in the hopes that we can repair him. Big fail there on my part, but it happens. This side we're probably going to take some kind of damage. It is the unfortunate nature of this whole thing. Let's bypass the turn and let's see how bad it's going to get. Ooh, I was hoping not to lose a submarine, but there it goes. Goodbye, submarine. How we loved thee. Kind of. Okay, so that naval problem has been handled. Much like that nasty belly button lint. It's a daily problem for me. I don't know why I brought it up, but belly button lint is a major issue, especially that lint from new socks that gets in between your toes. I hate that lint too. making your toes look all nasty when you take off your shoes. Everybody in the room is like, ew! And then all of a sudden, everybody in your freshman class is making fun of you. It's not cool, guys. Not cool. Let's drop some tanks down in here. Keep that artillery trucking, obviously. And now we get to do some real reconnaissance. Oh my. It just keeps getting worse. Okay then. I think for sure we made the right decision hitting this island first and getting the airfields and then coming back in and over here. I think that's going to help us out a lot in the future. We've got this mule unloaded. He's got everything on board. Let's bring him back to our airfield and let's just make an ass ton more condors, and that's how we're going to engage ourselves. We've captured that right there. We'll bring him down. Hopefully there's some goodies in there. Maybe some naval units to replace what we've already lost. If we can get ourselves a couple more units, I'd be pretty happy. Nothing going on over here. Okay, well, I'll leave them standing just in case. I need to bring back my bird. So the bird needs to come back over to the aircraft carrier. We'll dock him in. Give him a little bit of fuel. How much fuel is left at this naval yard? None. So we might have to transfer some fuel around too, just so we can keep him in the air. And maybe build another bomber or two as well. How many bombers can this hold? 4? We could really make a nasty run on the enemy all in one turn. If we wipe out these defenses and then we bring in like 4 bombers, we could just completely and totally decimate this force before anything else happens. Maybe I won't build condors. Maybe I'll build a bunch of bombers. It seems as though we already have all the condors we might need anyways, so... Everything's done there. I believe I was going to have him transfer over just a few more units. And then we'll bypass it. Got a couple of infantry that are getting brave out there in the middle of the forest. These guys have got to know that their days are numbered, and they're just going for maximum impact at this point. Isn't one of my long-ranged units, alas. And the sortie is over. We only lost 1 unit, so that's okay. No, we lost 2. Never mind, we lost another piranha. I was miscounting. I thought I counted this as part of the 6 that came with us, but unfortunately, I did not. Now then, let's finish capturing this and see what goodies it holds. Hopefully it's like a big, lovely treasure chest, but it's not. It's a big, crappy treasure chest. Well, on it then. I don't appreciate that. The Sea Wolf is a submarine. We don't need any more Sea Wolves. Funnily enough, the college I go to, that's their mascot, the Sonoma State Sea Wolves. I'll build another Barracuda just to make use of all this stuff down and in here, and maybe repair him up a little bit while we're down here. No, we needed to repair that other destroyer. Never mind. We'll build that right there, and then we'll apply the other... I don't think 30 resources is going to get him back to full health, but it'll get him close. It'll get him to the point where he's not going to be absolutely worthless. Now then, it's time to let loose the sea dogs over here, with a yo-ho-ho and a barrel of rum and all that. That might explain why they're zigzagging so much as they go down the coast, but then again, it could just be the seafloor. It could be drunkenness, it could be the seafloor, who knows. On this side... Continue shifting units into play. I still don't feel like I have enough armor here to advance properly, but I may. I may just be being a little panicky at the moment. We do have some armor, but it wouldn't be enough to punch through this. Dear God, no. That would be ugly. Let's drop off these resources and we'll start making ourselves some more bombers. And on that note, I should dock him here too, and we'll bring the fuel back. And once we've got enough fuel, we can start deploying bombers left and right. Or right and left, whichever order you prefer. So the Thor, we need 3 of those, correct? I'm making sure I'm not messing anything up here. Oh, we can only... Is there a limited amount you can build? Or does it take up too much space? It doesn't look like it takes up any further space, but we'll find out. Those have all been moved. Alright, let's end the turn. Oh, I forgot to move that motorcycle out. My badsies. Doesn't matter. I may send the condors out. Do a helicopter gunship run. See if we can flush them out of the forest. This is a busy channel right now. There are all kinds of units moving around this locality. Next turn, we should be able to start dropping rockets on that left flank. And then once we've done that, we'll wipe out these last couple remaining air defense points, these AA guns. If they had really wanted to make this nasty, they would have deployed artillery along these sides. That's how you would have moved the level into hard mode, because then you would have been taking attacks back. Although you still... The only way that I would have varied that then is I would have done a joint attack. I would have had the air come in and attack the guys on the ground, then I would have had him come in and wipe out the AA gun before the end of the turn so that we didn't take any damage. So I guess it only shifts the goalpost a little bit. I'm going to end the turn. Oh, they are going to come fight us. Alright, well, those are brave infantry. They ran into the wall. It's like that scene in The Man with the Iron Mask. They just came out and let us have it. They're going to move out of the way, as they always do. We're just going to continue bombarding there. We're going to take the shots we can take. I am worried he's going to go out to that little strip right there and take a shot at us. But we may take a shot from him no matter what we do. I thought that if I kept him in a line, he would be able to take a shot, but I messed up. It's not gonna matter. We're still gonna wipe all this stuff out, and that'll be the turn. I'm gonna break the episode off here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me at the Nerd Castle for another episode of Battleworlds Kronos. I hope you're enjoying the series. I will see you guys next time, and take care out there, everybody.